bad.
Over 80 legal service providers under the LapsNet network have signed a petition appealing to the Office of the President, the Chief Justice, Parliament, religious leaders, the Electoral Commission chairperson, and foreign ambassadors to prevail over the current electoral violence. This follows reports of attacks against opposition politicians on the campaign trail.
We have observed with concern that our various political actors have fallen, of course, short of observing them, and in reacting to this status quo, the security forces that include the Uganda Police, Uganda People's Defences, and their auxiliary forces have extended excessive force to unarmed civilians.
The legal aid provider said the continued silence by stakeholders in the electoral process might plunge the country into turmoil if not given the urgent attention it deserves.
We, the undersigned, have observed that most of the election violence has been orchestrated by the security agencies through provoking the candidates and their supporters, especially those standing on the opposition ticket.
The legal fraternity appealed to President Museveni as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces to prevail over the misconduct among elements of the armed services towards unarmed civilians in enforcing COVID-19 guidelines.
Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and a fountain of honor to issue a directive to all heads of security agencies condemning the action of the errant security officers with caution to refrain from use of excessive force.
The legal providers also appealed to the Speaker of Parliament to convene an emergency sitting to discuss the electoral violence which continue to claim lives of Ugandans.
To discuss the prevailing situation concerning elections in Uganda, and for Parliament to make resolution to provide guidance to the Electoral Commission and the security forces.
The Executive Director of LapsNet, Dr. Sylvia Mukasa, tasked the Electoral Commission to take charge of the electoral process
by intervening in the election violence in a timely manner. If the situation is out of control, then we call off the 2021 elections before we have irreparable damages.
They also want the Chief Justice to prevail over the continued arrests and detention of youth in various parts of the country.
To prevail over the judicial officers that are handling the cases related to electoral violence, to expeditiously handle such cases and ensure the victims of violence get justice.
They have refused to release or to allow these young people to benefit from police bonds under the Police Act.
The appeal has also been shared with members of the diplomatic corps seeking their intervention at a diplomatic level.
To use their comparative advantage, to appeal to the political actors, Electoral Commission, and security forces to observe and practice international standards in elections, in addition to holding them accountable to international conventions to which Uganda is a signatory.
It remains to be seen how the government will deal with the petition. Aaron Mukama, NTV Weekend.